What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's Sunday. I feel like we need a better intro than that. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I'm hyped. I don't know about you guys. Welcome in, as always. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you've had a nice couple of days off. Certainly, the markets have felt... well, the markets probably did exactly what we expected them to do, which was generally trade sideways and with a little bit of green. That's not bad. Like, I'll take that. You know, we don't need like an enormous 8% pump or something crazy. We sort of touched on that over the course of the back end of last week, really. But yeah, hope you're all doing well. Share the stream out, please, if you could. That would be great. Let everybody know that we are here. Obviously, it is Sunday, so I was just explaining to the TikTok. We are going to do something just a little bit different. Probably for the first, like, maybe 10 minutes, we're going to actually do some fundamental analysis. So this will be something we do regularly going forward. You'll vote in the Discord. By the way, if you are a member of the Discord, I yeeted about 160 people out of the Discord. We've added a ton more security on top of it. And to the point where I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe now, if you are a member of my Discord, then if anyone else is in that Discord, they can't DM you. So it should stop DMs coming from scam accounts and all the rest of it. We've like ramped up security within the Discord as well. So hopefully we should all be good. And basically people that weren't posting got yeeted. So anyway, if you are a member of the Discord. So yeah, so we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to sort of walk into just a little bit of fundamental analysis, okay? What does that look like? How do we really deep research a coin to say, is this worth it or not? And I'm not talking about just looking at the charts, but getting into a bit of nitty gritty. What's coming up? What's on the agenda? What are some things to watch out for? What are some things to be positive about? Etc, etc, etc. So over the course of the week, you guys will vote on what you want to do next week. Tonight, obviously, is Zcash. We're going to talk a little bit about the fundamentals of it, where it's going. Do I or do we as a collective believe there is upside momentum? Do we think it's done? Etc, etc. All right, so should be a good show. I'm excited to kind of walk through this. Obviously, it gives me a little bit of time to kind of, research some of this stuff. And then we'll get into the traditional markets. Quite a lot happening this week, particularly starting tomorrow. So we definitely need to get into that. And then we'll get into everything else. All right. So, by the way, if you are in the premium Discord, there was a coin I dropped in there yesterday. I think it was yesterday, actually. And yeah, so again, this is the advantage of being in the premium Discord. And I think I dropped it. It was 115k market cap. I believe it rallied to 300k today. That would have been nearly a 3x. I don't believe. I know it's sitting at a 172k market cap. So that would be like a 1.6x. So again, another reason why I think we don't always get them right, but look, some definite opportunities within there as well. So if you are interested, join the Discord. Link is free. It's totally free Discord, by the way. There is obviously a little bit of a paid bit just because, it keeps me going, keeps a little bit of development on the channel. With that being said, though, smash up the like button to run your all-time high, share us far and wide, and let's get into tonight's live stream, please. That'd be great. So it would help too a bit if you actually put the correct window on, you massive, massive chopper. Oh my God, where is it? Where is it? What is going on? Why is it not doing what I need it to do? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. There we go. All right, perfect. Perfect. Okay. TikTok, you probably want to look that way as well for this bit. Just if you are interested, by the way, then we'll get into it. Music TV, Brother Boldly says, what did you say? I missed it. You said, thoughts on Toshi and the new Charlie Dog meme coin? My biggest bags. Nice. I mean, Charlie took a dump today, but it's bouncing back, actually. Back over a 400k market cap. So, yeah, depending when you got in, doing pretty good, actually. Doing pretty good. So, yeah, I hold some Charlie, actually, in fairness. And, yeah, Toshi, I did see, but I think that's pretty low down, isn't it? Anyway, we'll touch on that in a minute. Back end of the show, we'll get into any coins you guys want, meme coins, altcoins, anything that's on your mind. So, let's dive into a little bit of fundamental analysis here on Zcash. So, let's talk about what Zcash actually is. I think it's worth starting here. For anyone who doesn't know, it is the first cryptocurrency developed with a zero-knowledge encryption for private peer-to-peer. Basically, it hides your transactions. Now, this is an old-school coin. Let's be clear about this. Zcash isn't something that's come out recently. It's not something that is like, this like almighty coin that everyone's like, oh my God, I need to be in Zcash. Like, it came out years ago, back in probably 2021, I think. But, launched with the coins like Monero and Dash and all those kind of, proper OG coins, right? OG coins that came out there, which I think is certainly interesting to think about. Highs of around $470. has been significantly higher. And yeah, all-time highs, by the way, about $5,000, which is insane to think about. But yeah, that was back in 2016. Who would have thought that, hey, when Zcash was all the rage? So essentially, it's the OG Tornado Cash. And lots of people kind of still use it. I keep saying the reality is, but a lot of people still use it. It's a way of taking your cryptocurrency out of the market, essentially without people seeing it. And we'll talk about why people may want to do that. For a number of reasons. I'm not saying, either one is correct, but there is obviously a number of reasons why people would like to do it. Traditionally, you see it a lot with whales, so they like to cash out through something like Zcash so that people don't know what they're doing, all right? But you essentially can just track the size of the transactions. Shout out from the UK, 2-bit. Love the content as always, keeping the pub coming. Let's go, Guy Johnson. Shout out from the UK as well, bro. UK. Okay. So I'm not going to go into we're not going to get into super crazy stuff because I want to spend a bit more time on the charts. But what have we got coming up? Well, there's a couple of key things to think about. Key takeaways right now on Zcash. Years of languishing, Zeke has surged 8x in the past month. So it's a very FOMO-driven coin right now, which I think is important. This discourse mirrors Bitcoin's early debates around the privacy versus reality. We'll get onto regulation in just a minute. It's overtaken Monero. Yeah, Zcash's UX has improved with cross-chain intent rails, reduced friction. Okay, so they use what they call near intents, which basically is it's a system in which they transfer their capital around. Okay, so this is kind of how it's all kept private. It was scrambled codes and all the rest of it. Right, it's pretty crazy if you ask me. For the first time, 30% of the Zcash supply sits in shielded pools. So actually, yes, you've got price movement, but it's very protected, which is good. That's a good idea. You think of it as like a vault. And then Zcash is the small node footprint relative to Bitcoin. So actually the people that uphold the network actually is significantly lower. Now, don't believe the hype when everyone's like, but Zcash is the modern day Bitcoin. No, it's not, right? No, it's not. And you've got a number of reasons why. Privacy coins are about to get mullered in the new year. And I think this is kind of one of the big watch outs that I would suggest right now with something like Zcash, Monero, even anything like Turbo Cash. They are going to get mullered in the new year. And what do I mean by that? There is a massive agenda around privacy coins, because the reality is if you are a government or an entity that wants to tax individuals, let's say for example you are in the UK, and as of January the 1st, you are going to get every single cryptocurrency exchange to send you every single transaction for the year of 2026. Then in 2027, you're going to absolutely hammer people on taxes, which would technically be the year before the general election. So then the Labour government could be like, but we just injected all this money and look at the economy. It's great. Then Zcash is definitely something to watch out for. They are operating with an entirely different playbook from the wider market, and they are benefiting from a long suppressed demand for privacy, preserving tools and prevalent policy legislation is dictating. So here's why people like privacy coins, is that then nothing else is tracked. And I think this is probably a key thing to think about when you are thinking about trading this coin, particularly when something's coming in the new year. But with all of that, there is some good news on the back of it as well. So Grayscale's Zcash ETF, which is going to be regulated privacy or privacy in the name only. So albeit on one side of this, you've got this agenda, which is like, okay, Zcash is going to be this coin that, this privacy coin, but loads of governments aren't going to like it. Loads of big corporate entities aren't going to like it. While at the same time, though, if freaking Wall Street comes in on an ETF, and this isn't the only crazy altcoin ETF that we've actually had rumored to be listing very, very soon, then this changes the game entirely, right? Entirely. Because if you've got Wall Street investing in Zcash, which is obviously a privacy coin, then get ready, right? This thing's going to go to the freaking moon. And I think what's notable here, the Zcash protocol roadmap is important. They are adapting and changing where they sit with Zcash. For example, they're looking at potentially doing a DAO vote with tokens, therefore a little bit like Luna Classic ecosystem where you vote based on the number of tokens that you put in, which is probably not a great thing. Vitalik Buterin, of all people, has actually been pretty, what's the word I would look for? Pretty negative towards this. However, their roadmap is pretty interesting and it's pretty expansive with a number of key things all starting to walk through, particularly when you talk about updates, protocol updates, and much, much more, including things like wallet integrations, as well as building out for this whole DAO ecosystem. So be very much careful on what Zcash is doing. So that gives you a little bit of a backdrop as to what it's all about, right? Is Zcash a good investment on fundamentals? That's what you got to ask yourself. Media, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Tomato Pete's here. Robert Dover. Music says, I've only been in crypto since late 24. On Twitter, some scammers tried to get my seed phrase for free Toshi airdrops. Tips for everybody about scammers, please. Yeah, great topic. Do you know what my best advice is? Genuinely, it's my best advice. Join my Discord and type in general. Don't reply to any DMs, but you shouldn't get any DMs now. We put some security in there that you shouldn't get DM'd out of the server. And then if you've got any questions, queries, thoughts, opinions, or views, post it in the Discord general chat and wait for someone that is classed as a member, not unverified, because that way you know they're a genuine individual of that Discord. Like I say, we wiped out about 160 people over the course of the last 2 days. Equally, I'm in the Discord and my name's Red. I'm the only one that's Red. In fact, I might make a couple of people, I don't know how you feel about this, but I might make a couple of people in the Discord like a little bit more, like give you a different color and be like, okay, these people are trusted. So for example, Cheese, Tim, Holmes, Al, like people that I know are in the live streams every night, and if they're posting there, then trusted people. Okay, let's talk about where Zcash could go. Tim with a gifted membership. Thank you so much, Tim. Appreciate that. Trust the process. Receiving a free membership from none other than Mr. Tim Shea. Thank you so much, Tim. I appreciate that, buddy. And yeah, get yourself, make sure if you're in the Discord, trust the process guy. Make yourself known. We'll give you access to our premium Discord where you get alerts to coins, trades, and everything else. Definitely, in my opinion, worth it. Like I said, the one we called earlier is nearly a 2x. So good news on that one. Okay, let's talk a little bit about where Zcash could go. And I think the first thing to do here is put the price of Bitcoin over the top of this to understand where Zcash is in comparison to kind of the price of Bitcoin, right? I think this is a good idea to look at. So if we take, for example, Future, sorry, man, join it again. Last night I just booted loads of people out. So I'm sorry, bro. I am genuinely sorry if I booted you out because yeah, I was in a world of thinking, well, if people get booted out, they'll just join back. But I was literally on a rampage, and I put some new software in, some new security stuff in there, and it literally went on a rampage and just booted loads of people out as well. So join back if you got booted. I apologize. Like I said, we're trying to do the right thing to protect the Discord as much as we can. So yeah, good. So let's look at this in terms of actual fundamentals. So here we see Bitcoin on a decline, and then we see Zcash moving to the upside. So we can say reasonably confidently at this moment in time, Zcash tends to move opposite to the price of Bitcoin. Now, let's also put in here the total. Let's put in the total too, okay? So let's do total. Total excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Perfect. Let's put that in as well. And this will give us two identical charts. Perfect. So the blue line, which will change to orange, which I think is worthwhile. And we'll make it hashed, okay? Just so we know what that is. So the orange line is Bitcoin, and then the total two. So this is everything minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can see that there is a direct opposite correlation with Zcash than there is with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the wider market. So what does this tell us? It tells us that Zcash, if anything, is absolutely hype driven right now. Hype driven to the max. You can see that when markets pushed down, Zcash rallied to the upside. When Bitcoin pushed up, Zcash came back down. For example, look at this move here. Look, this was the traditional market with Bitcoin while Zcash came down. So Zcash is driven by FOMO. It's driven by excitement. And at the same time, you've got incredibly short-term holders with it. So where does that bring us to in terms of where Zcash sits right now and a little bit of fundamental analysis? Well, let's talk about that as well. Here we go then. Let's do the 4-hour chart to get a little bit of a better understanding of maybe the direction of travel when, oops, I did not mean to do that, when we look at Zcash. If we were to take a look on the broader market, let's do the 12-hour. So let's take a look at this move, specifically where Zcash has been kind of trending over this bull market cycle. I think it's important to really kind of get into it. So this is kind of where we sit down in terms of the Fibonacci. And what's important here, look, you can see that it absolutely aligns to some really key points where we've seen breakouts and we've seen retests. So in my opinion, where do we sit now with Zcash? Look at this uptrend. Zcash right now is holding the 100-day exponential moving average, okay? So my view is I think Zcash could come down and retest this 396. If I was trading this opportunity, 396 would be definitely a price I'd be looking to potentially go long. As you can see here, when prices come down and retested the 0.5 Fibonacci, we actually have had some strong move. Note here, this was in an uptrend. Right now, Zcash is in a downtrend, while at the same time, the general market is very much in an uptrend. So, if we were to summarize where Zcash sits right now, what's the view? The view is you've got a lot of macro negative things going to Zcash, whether that's regulation, whether that's governments not liking it, whether even just the DAO system they want to implement, which is being received very negatively. There's a problem here that Zcash may be starting to push further down to the downside, may start be coming down to the downside. So I think worth noting here. Can you guys get in the Discord, or are you getting yeeted back out again? Staff chat. Auto kick has been auto kicked from the server for failing to verify. Can you guys not verify? Is it being all a bit weird? Can you not go into the verify user and click the start verification thing? Does that not work? See, this is what happened the other day, and then just no one can sign in. Okay, fine. So literally no one can get into the fucking Discord. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right. That's literally the most annoying thing in the world. So no one can get into the Discord. Oh, man. God, I'm so bad with Discord. It's like the most annoying thing in the world. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. Okay, don't join the Discord just yet. Don't join it yet. Let me do that and do that. Okay. Okay, you should be fine now. You should be fine to get in, and I will review that. What's happened last time? So, anyway, my point here, TikTok can actually see what I'm doing. The point here is I think Zcash right now is going to come down. For me, this is the key level. Would I be FOMO into Zcash? I know people are saying, oh, it's got way more upside potential to come. Zcash is going to go to the moon. Don't worry about it. Get bullish. Doesn't feel like it right now. So I would trade with extreme caution. This for me, if it loses, then absolutely you could see Zcash coming back down. Where do I think price comes down to? 396. A potential bounce. Watch for the trade though. If it comes down with a potential bounce, you're probably good for a TP at 480. If not, expect downside momentum back to 382. The actual big number though is here. Look, this is the big range that you'd expect Zcash to come all the way back down to, maybe even $200. So just be mindful trading Zcash. Lots of macro fundamentals aren't good. And I think it's been way over FOMO driven for a long time. And then obviously regulation is going to come cracking down on this as well. So just my opinion. That takes you through a little bit of what's going on with Zcash. Your decision is ultimately where that is. Let's take a poll. Do you think Zcash is a good buy right now? As in, like what we talked about. So obviously not now because it's a little bit too high, but you get my point, okay? Let's see what the community says, and then we will come back and double that back on the end of the stream. Okay, there we go. And if you enjoyed that type of content, by the way, make sure you give us a quick thumbs up and look out, get in the Discord. I'd short it. Get it. I think that definitely could be an opportunity as well. But yeah, we'll be obviously putting the poll out for next week. I'm going to set a channel up that's basically like vote on the coin you want to talk about. We'll probably do a couple of coins next week that we'll analyze. We may even do one midweek or something. If something's popping off, then we may do a bit of fundamental analysis. But that kind of gives you just an idea as to what I would go into if I was looking to take a position up in a particular coin. I don't just ape in because some random person told me on the internet that it's a good idea. We actually go a little bit deeper. We try and understand what it's all about and think a lot, think longer term. Think longer term. Where is it going to go? What does the price potential look like? Is it really going to rally? And all the hype train that you see, how true is that? Or is it just people trying to get you to buy bullshit? All right. So it's important, right? It is important to think about as you kind of walk through some of this stuff. So good. Have I got a moderator in TikTok? If not, can we just ban that individual that's shilling their own bullshit services? By the way, anyone that tells you that they can get all your losses back or that they are an absolute expert trader is a liar. And absolutely do not listen to them whatsoever, especially if they're having to go into other people's chats and shill their pathetic service. So just watch out for that, people, all right? Important to keep an eye on. What's your opinions on JP Morgan shorting strategy while selling their BTC? I think it's all a bit smoke and mirrors, if I'm dead honest. I talked about this on my Bitcoin update video. Remember, Full Bitcoin update videos go out at 11:30 UK time every single morning, followed by an altcoin video. And probably more often than not, XRP's got some crazy shit going on that loads of people don't even know what's happening. That goes out about 4:30. But yeah, I think it's all loads of smoke and mirrors. And I'll tell you why. Because when you actually deep dive into what JP Morgan are doing, they are telling you one thing, like publicly saying, we're shorting MicroStrategy, it's going to zero, like it's a big Ponzi scheme, while secretly buying loads of Bitcoin. I know they say they're selling it, they're not. Look at the ETF inflows, particularly where those that are custodying by JP Morgan. And they're also like, hey, the Fed's going to cut rates. Like we predict the Fed's going to go 25 basis points. Like we're pretty bullish on the market. So I think it's all bollocks at the minute. And that's why I'm just like, I just don't care about what I see anyway. Obviously, we'll talk about it on the channel, but it's a minefield, this market right now. And you've got to be careful about what you do it. So, Vern, what's up, bro? Thank you so much, man. Keep tapping the like button, everybody. Keep sharing out. And like I said, if you want to drop a couple of heart me's, we'd appreciate it. Never asked, never expected for, but yeah, we'd appreciate it. Okay. Good. I'm not voting. I haven't got any idea about Zcash. Fair play. Fair play. You can vote based on what you heard me talk about, though. That is something you can do. So, let's get into the broader market then. Let's talk about what's going on. This week is a big week for the crypto market. I think this is maybe even a bull market defining week for crypto. Are we going to see upside momentum? Are we going to see, bullishness return? Or unfortunately, are we going to see us capitulate and finally head down and, go quiet for a couple of months? Maybe. We'll see. Bitcoin right now holding around 91,150, down actually on the day. We did obviously get rejected the other day at this high range, which we've talked about. This is still, for me, the key price target to break. The 92,800. We haven't broke it. The weekend's been reasonably quiet, though. I wouldn't have said the weekend's been anything other than, a bit flat, which I think is a fair assumption. What I would say, macro uptrend, though, is still positive. We still had a number of good flippenings on the EMAs, which is kind of good news. So, what have we got coming this week then with this man here, Mr. Jerome Powell? Obviously, he talks Tuesday. We'll get his view on what's going on. But there is a lot of data that's going to drop. There's some key things we need to understand. And I guess that'll shape this market a little bit. ISM, obviously, on Monday. This is the big one. Now, forecasts are still predicting a little bit on the lower side. So, we were hoping maybe to push back above. The expectation right now, ISM is 48.8. So that would be slightly up on previous at 48.7. Consensus, though, is that we'll actually see a negative. We actually may see it turn down, which would be bad news, right? Markets would dump on the back of it. So we need a bullish PMI. We need, ideally, if we could get like if you could pick it, you'd say we'd get over 50, but that could very much be quite a volatile Monday, because you could definitely get that. That comes in, by the way, 3 p.m. I think it's 3 p.m. UK time, which I think is like 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. But yeah, 48.8 is the forecast. That would be slightly better, but still would be deemed as contraction in the market, which wouldn't be that favorable. But yeah. ADP non-farm payrolls we get on Tuesday. We'll talk about that as well on Tuesday night. No, we don't. Sorry, we got that Wednesday. Last time, 42,000. Expectation is 20,000. So still increase in jobs, but still not great. Okay, so we need to think about that. ISM services PMI. This is obviously an expanding area. So the Wednesday ISM PMI will be a good number, I believe. So we'll watch about what that looks like, but expectations are reasonably bullish. For example, they're already at 52.3. Expectations are 52.4. So jobless claims important. Everyone knows about that. PC inflation and consumer sentiment Friday. So pretty big week just in terms of actual data. I think that's going to be important. Johnny, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see Swamp's here as well. Welcome, Swamp. Powell resignation. I mean, there's less chance of that happening than... there's more chance of that happening than the sun waking up tomorrow. No, there's less chance of that happening. You get my point. I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway. But yeah, then Friday, like we said, core PCE is sort of going to be an interesting one as well. So don't forget, by the way, we'll have our full week analysis coming out in the Discord later on as well. But PCE is expected to be flat. So what you might get this week, particularly when you look at it, like say on like a 12-hour chart. So we got some key targets we want to look at. If we get bearish, and I use the term bearish pretty loosely, PMI data, you're probably going to see BTC come down. It'll probably come down and retest these lows, in my opinion. These kind of low range, 88,000. We may even see it go a little bit lower, depending on what the number looks like. With the expectation then that jobs probably is going to come in okay. If anything, might come slightly better. Predictions 20K, you know, maybe 30K, something like that. And then you get inflation data. So we may sort of get a pretty volatile week. Hopefully we can hold the macro trend. What you don't want to do is probably lose 87K, which should be there. So, you know, if we came down and wicked back here, but then still managed to push to the upside, that would be fine. We just need to watch this line. So anyway, could be important to think about as this all walks through, but it will be very important. Now, just while we've been live, actually, it's been some pretty interesting, I believe. Let me just see if I can bring this chart up, because there's been some might call it timing, some might call it deliberate, who the hell knows. Let me see if I can bring this up real quick for you guys. So we got yeah, here we go. So we got a little bit of data to suggest, and I do think it's very interesting, the fact that in your back Jupiter diamond hands. Yeah, I still hold Jupiter. Actually. Yeah, so look at this. Breaking US tariff revenue surged 281% year over year in October to a record $34.2 billion. Liam, what's going on, bro? 3 months ending October, customs and certain excise taxes reached $36.8 billion. So there's only $100 billion in the fiscal year of 2024 from tariffs. Again, this might be interesting that it's come out specifically now, but yeah, we will see. Now, the expectation, which obviously isn't a budgeted number, is that fiscal year 26, which begun on October 1st, the government collected $41.6 billion in corporate income taxes, just 22% more than tariff revenue. So think about that. Tariffs are now, pushing this market. This may be why you slightly get better idea, because in theory, what you should get is actually, as these plants come online and jobs come back and particularly in the auto sector, you might actually start to see that this changes and that tariffs stay the same, but output and fiscal output actually gets better. So yeah, I thought it was pretty important. Now, the other big thing that's happening tomorrow, which is worth it, and TikTok, you probably need to see this chart because I think it's super important, but the other thing that's happening tomorrow that I think way is overhyped, but is worth noting, and so many people have actually missed the train on this, is QT ends, okay? QT officially ends tomorrow, right? The 1st of December, which is it's actually freaking insane that it's the 1st of December tomorrow. I mean, think about it. We got just over 3 weeks and it's pissing Christmas. Like, what? Anyway, what this chart is showing us here, by the way, is whenever you have QE, we generally see Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency markets pump to new all-time highs, or specifically the tops get called in them. This going all the way back, by the way, to like 2013, 2017, etc., 2019, all the way even into the 2021 bull market top, which again was where QE was in. So we're 195 weeks into the longest QT ever. The Fed confirmed QT ends December 1st. Now, this aligns to the Fed Reserve balance sheet, which you know we've been talking about for a while, actually, and we've been keeping a very watchful eye on what's going on with it. Now, as you can see here, that the Fed balance sheet is actually coming down. This is the 3 months chart. So what this is, as the balance sheet comes down, this is actually QT, okay? So quantitative tightening, they're not being, I wouldn't say frivolous with their money, but they're certainly not pushing it out there. So this is absolutely where it is. If you go to all, though, you can absolutely see. So this was back in 2020. This was the biggest run up before we got that massive bull market on 2021. Go back to 2017, you can see how that ran up as well. In 2018, the bull market cycle top as well there. So, you know, the fact we kind of have this this played out right now is pretty interesting indeed. If you believe in a 2026 bull market cycle and you believe that actually QE, as well as some broader macroeconomic data, suggests that more money, remember liquidity is the big thing that drives this market, well then, you know, this is like the most bullish thing that you could ask for. QT coming to an end is freaking good news, all right? And it could absolutely spur that on. Aligned to back end, middle to back end of next year with the Trump stimulus checks. Like, yeah, we could be in for a pretty interesting ride. And I think the only thing right now really that's sort of saying, well, the bull market's over is the assumption the 4-year cycle still holds true, which could easily be, negated, couldn't it, if we're dead honest. By the way, real quick, if you haven't already hit the like button, please do so. 125 of you in here or from YouTube, and likewise over 50, 60 people here on TikTok as well. So do me a quick favor, tap the screen and let me know that you're here, which would be massively appreciated. Also, if you're here on YouTube, give me a quick thumbs up. Would massively appreciate that as well. Just help out the algorithm, lets people know that we are here. Jez says macro time frame is still bullish. You are right. You are right. And again, I've been deep in this over the course of the last sort of 2 or 3 days. I never went bearish. I just went less optimistic, I think it's fair to say. 21 shares ETF and Wisdom Tree. Yeah, coin shares pulled out though. And then was it Fidelity or someone else did as well? Interesting. But yeah, watch out for those XRP ETFs as well. That could be good news. As well as, by the way, if you haven't seen my 2 XRP videos up from the last 2 days, go and watch them. Holy crap. There is some stuff going on with XRP that so many people are not seeing, right? And it's not often I shield my own channel. It's not often I'm like, hey guys, you absolutely should go and look at this. But go and have a look at these 2 videos. 300 banking partners. Go and watch that. It's a pretty big deal. And then here, the most insane update you're going to see for XRP. This talks about JP Morgan, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and how it all links back to Ripple. You just need to watch it, okay? 8.1 thousand people already watched that video. So, and if you're there, by the way, click this join button here. Grab a channel membership. Why the hell not? It's absolutely worth it. But yeah, go and watch that videos if you haven't, and I appreciate your support on those as well. So, QT coming to an end. Good news. I've seen that Powell rumor too. Polymarket's still at 3% again. Yeah, Powell won't resign. No way on this earth he will resign. No way. People need to just forget that and move on. He will think about it. If you resign, it's bad news. I don't know whether he'll have, pension or there'll be something tied to his contract. I might try and find that for tomorrow, but there's no way Powell resigns before he'd have to get yeeted out. It'd be too political if you ask me. So I don't see it personally, but you never know. I just typed in T and it just came up with Mr. T. So good. Okay, now let's talk about global liquidity. We just touched on liquidity and why this is such an important metric. Well, look, the same can be said right now. You've got massively playing out on the fair value. What does this tell us? Well, it gives us the idea of where BTC could go. So you've got global liquidity is the strong green line down here, BTC price being white, and then obviously the sort of greener ranges are where you've got differentiating in terms of price, for example, right? Okay, yeah. I see it, Tim. Powell is already loaded, yeah. Oh yeah, Powell, but yeah, he's got no reason to go. So what you've seen here is, yeah, again, we are seeing global liquidity continue to the upside. Now, many people would say, well, Bitcoin's decoupled, it's therefore not going to go higher, but look at this fair value. So this lighter green area sits way up here at around $165,000. This is assumption or assuming that if Bitcoin tracks global liquidity, this is where it should be going. Remember, like I said, liquidity drives everything in the market, very different to utility or company stock prices. So, but what is worth noting, by the way, global liquidity ticks up, BTC is ticking up as well. So definitely worthwhile keeping your eyes peeled on that. And how do we know stuff is happening? Well, look, here is some good news. Coinbase's premium index. Let's go, baby. We talked about this and have done now a number of times. Guess what? BTC now trending to the upside. The fact that we're seeing the green candle here coming in on the Coinbase premium index is good news as well. Steve Munchin definitely went to the island. What? The adoption of XRP in the UAE is mind-blowing, potentially much bigger than ETFs. Yeah, 100%. Like the whole UAE, I think the UAE for crypto is going to be enormous, and I think so many people are sleeping on it. Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild, I think. And yeah, you definitely want to be in XRP than not be in XRP. Just my opinion. But yeah, spot demand for BTC is thriving. There is increasing demand for spot holdings of Bitcoin, which I think is very good news. 65K. No, Mohammed. We're not in that place right now. I mean, BTC has lost 90K, 91K, which is kind of annoying, but no, we're not going to 65K. That's insane. That's insane, bro. Get the hell out of here. I notice he has more of a limp now. Who's that? So I don't know if you've seen this as well, which I thought was super interesting, right? Super interesting. So Tether, and there's been a pretty, there's been a bit of animosity, a bit of heat kicking around, specifically with some of the things we've talked about, so treasury yields, etc. But look at this. Tether is reducing the US treasuries and increases gold and Bitcoin reserves. Think about this. So why, and by the way, we've been talking about the fact that, stablecoin companies have been buying an absolute shit ton of US treasuries, right? Why? Why did they buy so much treasuries? You had volatility in the market, you had good return rates, you had a weakening dollar, and you have quantitative tightening, right? Well, quantitative tightening drives the yield returns up on treasuries, okay? We can see in fact, we can actually even see this. If I was to put in, let's look at the 10-year, which is still ticking up a little bit, but let's look at the daily on the 10-year treasury. And then let's look at Bitcoin. So what you can see here is the volatility versus stability. And I think this is kind of interesting to think about. Now, if you're in this market, you know exactly what's going on. Do you want to see this TikTok as well? Because I think it's kind of interesting. Casey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's kind of interesting. So what you've got here is the general return rate on treasury yields. So 4.07. So you've got a range here from 4.81, which was when BTC, by the way, was way down when. So BTC lowers 90K. You then see, treasury yields up here at 4.81. What do you see the opposite? When BTC was rallying to, new all-time highs, 125K, treasury yields are down here at 3.96. So this is why I think you're seeing this pivot from Tether. So you can see here what they've been doing and what they've been buying. So corporate bonds is down, as well as there's on treasury bills, etc. And then you see this move into Bitcoin. They are buying more Bitcoin. So you've got billions of dollars. They bought 961 Bitcoin today, just under 100 million. So they are stacking Bitcoin pretty aggressively. So you have now the end of QT coming in, which means that if the Fed starts printing treasuries, which, by the way, they already have, and so many people have missed this. That's why you need to watch my videos that get updated on the morning, because we are at the precipice. We're at the cutting edge of what's going on in the markets. But the Fed Reserve has been printing money. They just aren't announcing it yet. It's not the craziest amount, but it's a bit, right? It is a bit. And week on week, it was pretty stagnant in terms of their actual movement. But they did print about $6 billion. So nothing crazy, but they did start to print it. And I think that's worth doing. That may just be rebalancing of whatever it is, but they are definitely starting to print money, which I think is important. We have the federal balance sheet here, 6.55 trillion, which is a kind of where we are. $2.86 billion down week on week, but last week they removed, I think it was $750,000. There's a $12.5 billion buyback this week, which could be insane. But again, it's interesting that you see then Tether going big on Bitcoin. So, and look, no one's going to be able to fully 100% predict the market. Even Tether, albeit they could probably manipulate the market if they wanted to, but even Tether couldn't really manipulate everything. But it is worth noting here that if they were dropping 100 million, it's not the first time they bought on an asset they believe is going to go down, they believe the bear market's here, then they're essentially throwing money away, like sit in stablecoins, sit in bonds. What I think they think, and I'll talk about why I believe that's going to happen in just a second. I think they believe with stimulus coming in, bear in mind, we talked about the new Fed Reserve chairman could even be Stephen Hassett, 53% odds of him coming in, pro-Bitcoiner, ex-Coinbase advisor, Trump appointee, like, oh my God, he'd probably slash rates by 1%. No one would think it was a recession because they'd be like, well, he's a Trump plant, do you know what I mean? But I thought this was super interesting. The S&P said that Tether is leaning further into assets that swing in value and warned that this mix could leave USDT exposed if markets turn violent. The current S&P global rating for Tether is weak. Now, you know the old saying, don't throw stones in glass houses, right? Have you heard that saying? It's an interesting saying. Basically, don't call stuff out if you're as bad yourself. And actually, the S&P monthly gains tracker still looks crazy positive, but it's about, in my opinion, by the way, I think we might be about to start to see something a little bit tasty here. So the S&P 500 rebounded late November to close up about 0.13% on the month. The S&P is now up 7 months in a row, which is pretty insane if you think about it. And we've seen a couple of breadth thrush signals triggered. The Latin America geopolitical risk is not being priced in, which is obviously Venezuela. The US has obviously got to carry a strike group over there. I don't think Trump's going to go in on Venezuela or out crazy like that, but it is interesting. And US small and mid cap look cheap versus history and versus expensive mega caps. Now, when we talk about mega caps, that's when you're getting into the Mag 7, which, can we bring the Mag 7 up here? Mag 7 plus equity index funds. That's not what I want, really. That is not what I want. Maybe it's this. Maybe this might work. Let's just take a look at this. So obviously the Magnificent 7, yeah, 2.4. I don't know if that's it. I don't think it is. Okay. So the Mag 7, obviously, with all of those that we've talked about, so that is your likes of Facebook and Meta, Nvidia, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So this is why this also, this is why this all, oh my God, plays out, because actually, if you're looking in November sell-off and acting as a risk-clearing event, which is the decline and subsequent surge, is breast hinting at a stealth correction and offside money taking the chance to buy on a long-awaited pullback. So even Nvidia, that took a bit of a dump, everyone bought in. So what you have here is almost a reset, a flush of the S&P 500. And what's important to reference here is if you were then to put in, for example, you put the S&P 500 into here with BTC, what do you see? Well, you see a way more correlated market than we've been for a very, very long time. The only decoupling was around here. But what can you see right now? The dip coincides with the dip. The S&P is starting to rally and Bitcoin's starting to rally. It's almost like an absolute perfect correlation yet again. So I think if we are in a world where actually this stealth correction is going to come in, the S&P is going to rally, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, and all the rest of them starting to move, then I think this catalyst will drive Bitcoin as well. There's way more, Fairground, what's going on, bro? There's way more connections between the S&P 500 or the Mag 7 specifically and Bitcoin than everything else. So I think again, it's worth noting on that. Okay, worth noting. Nothing compared to the 38 trillion deficit. Yeah, and it's getting worse as well. But good news, tariff revenue, baby, is going up. But yeah, look at this. I mean, how they even work this, I have no idea. But it's pretty crazy if you think about it. Pretty crazy if you think about it. Shane, what's going on, buddy? Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Shaney. So yeah, it's pretty wild if you ask me. Okay, so watch out. If we get a rally on the S&P 500, bearing in mind, with no earnings, no CPI data, the Federal Reserve is probably the next big thing, 10th of December. That's about it. So you don't have to worry about Nvidia missing on like shares or anything. Like, yeah, you have to just be, just kind of keep your eyes peeled. Like, going to be pretty interesting in my opinion. So watch out for that. Okay, quick fire round. A couple of other bits of news. AVAX. Finally, AVAX ETF with staking yields from Bitwise. Let's fucking go, Bitwise. Stake up to 70% of AVAX holding to generate rewards for investors. Lowest cost fund in the space. 0.34 of annual fees. Brilliant. AVAX finally getting some good news, which is positive. And then look, on this kind of Mag 7, look at this. Bank of America naming Nvidia, Planeteer, and this other coin, which you guys can all see anyway, Robinhood, it's not a coin, it's a stock, as a top buy and hold stocks for 2025. Interesting. Interesting. Why would Robinhood be something you'd want to buy right now as a hold for 2025? Well, you guys need to ask yourself that question, but it's interesting, right? Everyone that's just joined the Discord, by the way, I am taking you off unverified. I will find out what the frick's going on with that. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all gravy, baby. There we go. There you go. Yeah, pretty interesting as well. AVAX is an absolute flop. I'm clinging on to dear life that it's going to do something. But yeah, let's hope so, hey. But yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting. Now, I don't want to end on a shit sandwich, so we'll end on something a little bit more positive. But this is a freaking not good story, okay? So anyone who's in the UK, I need you to understand this is bad news, okay? This is bad news. And you need to position yourself accordingly to make sure that you don't get completely and utterly fucked, okay? It is important to reference this. The UK will force all crypto platforms to report every UK user transaction in 2026, okay? Now, I am not advocating for paying your taxes. I'm not advocating for doing anything that you shouldn't be doing. All I am simply saying is that if you are big on exchanges, you hold significant proportion of your portfolio on exchanges, and that portfolio has significantly gained in value, you might want to be very, very cautious and make sure that you are prepared for the tax bill that you may get. Bearing in mind, in 2026, they are going to track every transaction from UK users. It is very important, in my opinion, that you are very much dialed into what's going on with that. So I highly, highly recommend being very sensible. You not necessarily sell. I think, look, again, I'm not telling you what to do. All I'm saying to you guys is what I'm going to be doing is I am going to close down pretty much all of my exchange accounts that have got KYC verifications on them and anything that ties back to me. and then I will go DeFi. I'll just be in DeFi, which I mean, maybe the problem is, maybe why Zcash might end up being the good news story. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I think that's a sensible idea. And I will trade in the, DeFi space. So yeah, Coinbase, definitely, in my opinion, by the way, I'm not hating on Coinbase. They're a great exchange. They're good for liquidity, but be very mindful with Coinbase because there's a lot of data that sits with Coinbase that I think you need to be very aware of. So worth knowing that. And then finally, by the way, positive news. 2BitFi held 10% exchange and I've removed all my crypto from my linked wallet. Then you should be okay. Just be mindful if that 10% goes skyrocket and you're paying tax on it, baby. What's worse is, by the way, they're not auto-taxing you. They're just going to know that you owe them money. They can only tax you on what you sell. No, they can tax you on any taxable event. This is where people get it wrong. If you convert a coin to another coin, that is a taxable event. If you convert a stable coin to a cryptocurrency, taxable event. If you convert a cryptocurrency to a stable coin, taxable event. So it's not about selling, it's about taxable events. If you convert Ethereum to Bitcoin, taxable event. I've got a full video on my channel, by the way, that walks through what they look at, how they're going to tax you. We'll also probably do a, I just some people that are really like want to do a tax thing. And they're like, yo, you need to pay me for it. It's like, for fuck's sake. So I think from January the 1st, 2026, they're going to track everything on your exchanges. Now, what I don't know is whether that'll be retrospectively managed at the minute. We definitely need to take a look at that as well. So yeah, let's the party. What have I missed? Love the content, mate. Hey, thank you so much, Dino Dog. Quite a bit, actually. Talked about Zcash, talked about the market overview. We've gone through quite a bit in terms of macroeconomics, just talking about banks, particularly Coinbase, exchanges that is going to be KYCing the shit out of you to the HMRC. So you got to be careful about that. Which I think is important, right? Sell BTC at 80K. You can have it. So if you hodl till it hurts, they can't tax you. I mean, in theory, you can write it off against taxables. So if you've got a private company, as an example, and you are, let's say, for example, you had some Solana, and you transferred it to the exchange at, say, $250, right? Since that Solana's been on that exchange, it's gone to $150. You could write the $100 off every Solana against your tax bill, in theory, if you have a private company or like a self-employed. So yeah, important. Don't miss the reason for the thumbnail why tomorrow is so important. Craig, are you serious? Are you actually serious, Craig? What do you mean? It was the first thing I talked about after Zcash. I do worry about you sometimes, Craig. I do worry about you. Hey, 2B, hope you're okay. I've joined your Discord last week. I'm receiving DMs saying he or she wants to know me. I don't believe it can be you. So you shouldn't be receiving them anymore, Sunny Rajput, because no, they're not me. If anyone needs to get hold of me in the Discord, then message me in the general chat and I'll get back to you. But I don't DM anyone, but I have taken away the ability for people to do it. So again, we just implemented some more security, but it's literally banning everyone from the Discord. So 160 people got yeeted out of it yesterday. So, but they shouldn't be allowed to DM people if they're in the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, they're in the Discord. They shouldn't be able to DM you. So yeah, all I would ever say is I don't DM anyone. So just be mindful of that. Okay, what do you think about Zcash, Max? I literally spoke for the first 15 minutes of this entire live stream talking about it. Here's my view. It's driven on FOMO. Regulation is going to try and get rid of it. They're trying to impose a token DAO vote system, which is a terrible idea. And it's in a decline. So I don't believe it's a good investment right now. If I was going to maybe trade it, I'd look for a short-term trade from about 396, maybe on the bounce trade to push back to the upside of the 0.5 Fibonacci. At the minute, though, it's in a downtrend while the rider market's in an uptrend. So just be careful. Just be careful. But anyway, Craig, why is important? This is the important bit for tomorrow. QT ends, QT starts, Fed prints money. Good news for crypto, okay? That was kind of why I spent so long talking about this. But good. Right. Okay. Let's get into the last bit, which is the potential now for a Fed rate cut is 87.4, the highest it's been since obviously the markets took a massive shit. So this is absolutely going in the way that I think it was going to go, and I believe that it's going to go. Do I think we'll get 50? Oh man, I've still got to say I'm still saying reasonably optimistic on this, but yeah, the fact is that this is going to be I think this gets priced in this week, by the way. I still don't really believe it's priced into the market. People might say it is, but I don't necessarily believe it is. So I think this is going to be good news. 25 basis points. QE, along with that, could all start to play out to be very favorable. And fingers crossed, will start to give us some upside momentum, which would be good news. So yeah, that's kind of where I sit with a number of these things. And yeah, hey 2bit, hello from Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas, JC Crypto Man. Viva Las Vegas, JC Crypto Man. Thoughts on XRP rally? Bro, I think XRP's got some crazy shit coming and people just are going to miss it. Taxmas, Alex, no. Yeah, I think XRP would be a good coin to hold. In my humblest of opinions, I am an XRP holder, and I think XRP's got some good momentum. Certainly where it is right now. I need to get rid of this S&P 500 thing. So yeah, XRP bouncing off some really key support levels, holding up pretty well. I wanted it over the 20-day exponential moving average. We're not quite there. But yeah. Girard says QE won't be before the end of 2026. QE is already underway. The Federal Reserve don't want you to know about it. They printed a little bit of money the other day, which I think is to do with the Treasury buyback system, which they need to stop now. But there is some pretty big ones actually. So I don't know if we've ever looked at this before, by the way, but here is the list of Treasury buybacks. So you know when they show you it on like the screen, they go, "Oh, the US government bought back this." Look at what's coming on the 2nd of December, by the way. Holy fucking shit, $12.5 billion. Now, the only thing I don't really know is what this means. Nominal coupon 1 month to 2 year on cash management. I don't know what it means, but it's enormous. $12.5 billion is the maximum purchase amount that's going to be coming in on the 2nd of December. The 3rd of December, $2 billion, which is the general buyback. So this may all kind of, keep going, or it may all kind of stop, which, would be marginally positive, I think. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we get that. But will XRP got to £10 in January 2026? I think it's unlikely. Could it? Yeah. Is it likely? No, I don't think so. But yeah. So anyway, Treasury buybacks, watch out. That could be pretty interesting as where all that plays out. But this is where I think this will show us actually. We talked about this the other night, the Fed balance sheet. We actually went into it and watched the full update on it. It's not letting me do this. This is like super annoying. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. What alts are dead right now? Most of them. Most of the altcoins are, I mean, if the question is, what do you think is Julian, what's going on, bro? What do you think is undervalued right now? That's probably a good one. AVAX has to be one. So we announced ETFs and it dumps to 2.5%. I think AVAX undervalued right now. I still feel World of Bit Financial's undervalued, which could be tasty come midterms, but yeah. Look at Quant, by the way, back over 104K. We were talking about that last week. So yeah, Quant's on a bit of a move right now. I think that Chainlink's still undervalued at $13. And then a couple of others. HBAR, I think Aerodrome Finance is undervalued at 68 cents. Yeah, Cardano, as much as people hate me for it, I still think Cardano is a good buy at 42 cents. But yeah. But that's my view anyway. Craig, I would, but it would be a taxable event. Oh dear. Gotta be careful of those taxable events, everybody. All right. Gotta be careful of those. Okay, like questions. If anyone's got any questions, thoughts, opinions, coins, or whatever, then let me know. We'll try and answer the best we can. Do me a quick favor though. Give the like button a quick tap. Also tap the screen if you're on TikTok, by the way. We're nearly at 5,000 likes. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, I know I am trying to work out how I can stream my screen because I appreciate it must be super annoying when I'm talking about stuff and you can't see it. They're just all a bit weird. When it comes to the ability of streaming both on OBS and then equally out onto TikTok. But we'll get it sorted. Thoughts on XDC? So I used to really like XDC. Really like it, actually. When it first came out, I was like, man, this is like super bullish. I like the fact that it was using the trade element for it. And then it just never really got going. Never seemed to get any good volume and always seemed to be a little bit pants. So I just moved away from it. And I mean, what's it at right now? 5 cents. So it's very marginally up. But macro is not great. So yeah, I like it as a coin. I like what it stands for. I like the fact of how it does in terms of trade, but I think it's got too much competition with things like XDC, with XLM and lots more of the ISO coins. So like what it stands for, don't necessarily think it's going to be a crazy mover in this at the end of this market. Bitcoin Beach, I'm in the building, says your streams are my favorite. Can we look at Swiftcoin, Chinese XRP? Is it going to 9 cents? Do we still have that on here? I thought I'd put that back on here. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, SWFTC, Swiftcoin. There we go. Swiftcoin, 9 cents. Holy crap. I don't think it's going to 9 cents. It's like a 50 million X. Where's it at right now? So it's currently sitting at a 0.005. So it's not even 5 cents. So do we think it's going to go to that? I mean, on the actual technicals, it doesn't look like the worst chart in the world. Doesn't look like the worst chart in the world. So, you know, maybe you might actually, what am I doing here? You might actually get some momentum push. I'm not necessarily going to be in a world of saying, well, I think it's going to go to the fucking moon because I'm not 100% certain. But at the same time, why am I on the weekly charts? Let's go to the 3-day charts. It's starting to move a little bit. I just think it was a little bit overhyped with XRP. But yeah, 9 cents I think is a strong, I mean, that's a 25x from where it is right now. Now, if the market goes crazy, then, we could be going. XDC is supposed to be used in the derivatives market. Yeah, all I would do is advise anyone to go and understand what the derivatives market really is. It's a fucking scam waiting to happen. Like, derivatives market's insane. Oh, you want to leverage trade on derivatives? You want to leverage trade on My Little Pony? Yeah, cool. What do you think it's going to go up or down in price? I think it's going to go down in price. Cool. How much is that? $1 million? Yeah, perfect. Derivatives market's wild. It's wild. But yeah, thank you for the 10, by the way, Bitcoin B Jam. Appreciate you, buddy. You're my favorite stream. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. How can you not be bullish? Tim's bullish. Dumpy Monday coming? Well, last week wasn't. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see. What's the catalyst that's going to push it? QE ending. Is that going to push the markets down? I don't know if we can see any kind of ETF expectations at the minute. It feels like it's a little bit early, to be honest. But let's see if we can just get a small view. 2-bit, if you hold your crypto long term in the UK, you don't get the discount in cap gains for the UK, do we? Don't know is the honest answer. I guess it depends on how long you hold it for. But, I mean, I wouldn't put anything past this government right now. If they can come and take your money, they will. They will. Have you not seen, like, all the stuff? It's just a joke. Like, it is actually a joke, in fairness. It's not on Binance and Coinbase yet. That's true. Wait to sell assets. If you can keep an asset for more than a year before selling, this can usually result in paying lower capital gains rate on that profit. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that agrees with. I don't think that agrees with the UK stance, if I'm honest. But I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. So ETFs, by the way, a little bit on iShares. This is obviously Friday. We'll see what this looks like. Oh, sorry, this was Thursday, wasn't it, man? The US markets have been closed for so long. What do futures look like? Futures are very marginally positive. Very marginally positive. So people are longing Bitcoin right now more so than shorting it. So maybe. Typically, shout out my wife, Phyllis. Of course I can. JC Crypto Man, shout out to Phyllis. Out in Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Go on, Phyllis. What a fucking great name that is. Monday already here in Australia. Damien, are they dumping Bitcoin in Australia or not? Maybe you can tell us. Thorchain. Man, I hear so many people talk about Thorchain. Never really got into it. But I hear it's some pretty good news. Pop us all in Santa Drops. It'll make sure that you're on the nice. Yeah, I bet you will. Every year. Good. Yeah. So look, we got a little bit on ETFs, but yeah, markets are. We'll do the pre-markets as well, because why the frick not? Let's have a look at that. Oh my god, I can't type. Pre-market data. Damien. It's all good. It's all good. Tell us what the future's gonna be like, Damien. Tell us what happens tomorrow. Right. Holy crap. Look at the Dow. Jesus. The Dow's gonna rally, or expectation, by the way. Fair value on the futures for Dow up 263. So futures look like they're going big on the Dow, as it does this S&P 500. Fucking hell, that's pretty epic. Pretty epic. Man, the NASDAQ, the Russell, looks like it's gonna, well, certainly looks like the US might continue their purchasing, which would be great. Mark D, what's going on, bro? Welcome in. Welcome in. And yeah, US indexes look like they're going to be pretty bullish, actually. What does the FTSE up marginally 0.27? Man, I remember selling the FTSE. This is going back when I had like ISAs when I was a kid. And it was like 4,000 or something. Jesus. Man, if only I'd have kept hold of it. Thoughts on Plume? I don't really have much thought. We looked at it a while back ago. I feel like Holmes was big on Plume, and yeah, we didn't really stick with it. In fairness, where's it at right now? $67 million market cap. Let's have a look at the daily candles. Where is it at right now? Probably glad we didn't get into it. What do I think on it? I mean, Jesus, that chart looks terrible. So yeah, if it's got some like mega catalyst, then great. If it hasn't, then yeah, probably not something I would entertain, to be honest. Ricky, in Bitcoin we trust. You know it, baby. What's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Appreciate you. HRH. Hey, no problems. Thanks for sticking around, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Really appreciate the support. Oh, is it? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, again, this kind of sits in the same thing as Zcash then, doesn't it? So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, exactly. Tomato Pete. Can we look at AIOZ has been performing very, very well. We were in that from the investment standpoint. It's not great right now though, but yeah, I think, you know, AI narrative, you look where it is compared to lots of other coins. It's not actually that far down. You know, 70%. I know people would go, oh, good old 2 bit, still 70%. But last week it made a gain of about 12.5%. So $3 is very, very optimistic. Just out of interest, Bitcoin B-Jam, where do you get your price predictions from? Like, where do you get them from? Like, think about it. A $3 price range is, I mean, it is insane if you think about it. The Fibonacci extension, you'd be looking at something like between the 1618 and the 2618 Fibonacci, which will be pretty wild if you ask me. But is it possible? Yeah. Is it likely? I don't think so. Unless, like I said, if we get some sort of crazy ass move in the market, maybe. But yeah, $3 feels a very, very challenging move right now. You're probably more on, you know, potentially seeing this kind of further move to the upside is probably where I'm at right now, where you want to see a little bit more optimism to get back above. Oops, why has it done that? Get back above some of these key levels. Right now, we need to see a break of around 16 cents to be positive to, you know, so where it's been. But I like ALZ, by the way. Golden SP and Russell Index near back to all-time highs. Bitcoin has a 40% hit ATH. Too many rich cheats got. Yeah, and that's true. That is true. Caesar gets crypto provides them. Oh. What? And he thinks AIOZ is going to $3? Jesus Christ. Wild. Price predictions from the man down the pub. Yeah, it feels like it. Caesar. I want to see this channel. Like, how wild is it? Caesar. What's it called? Caesar what? Caesar gets crypto. Jesus. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh my, look, I'm not going to start because TikTok doesn't like it when I do this, but videos. Zcash $900 price prediction. Bro, the fuck is this guy talking about? Right. Cool. Man, this guy puts out a shit ton of videos all the time. Holy crap, this guy like works harder than anyone. 2 days ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 videos in a day. Oh my God, this guy is like an absolute machine. Wow. Quant will rally big tomorrow. I mean, Quant's doing pretty well right now, but yeah, man, this guy put 9 videos out. Man, I feel like I'm not even. I feel like I'm not working hard enough now. Jesus Christ, 9 videos. How do you just do 9 videos? I guess if you're just looking at charts, it's not the most difficult thing in the world, but that is insane. That is wild, bro. That is wild. There are some insane price predictions, though. Like, Jesus Christ. Bitcoin Cash 900% pump incoming. Really? Again, I'm not hating on anyone, by the way. I stay in my lane a lot of the time, and I just, I just keep going. I just keep doing what I'm doing, and that's about it. But Jesus Christ, anyone that thinks Bitcoin Cash is going to do a 900% move, what? 900%? Shut the front door, bro. 550, 900%. So they're telling he thinks that Bitcoin Cash is going to $5,500. Shut up, Curtis. That is this. Sorry, Curtis. You don't need to. Hey, Curtis. Curtis, why don't you think about retracting the statement you just made? TikTok, I wasn't being mean. Your friend's Army pumps out videos non-stop. He's funny. Your friend. I mean, we should do like a night of looking at other YouTubers. It'd be hilarious. Man. Yeah. Bitcoin Cash going to 5,500. No way, Bitcoin BJam. No way, bro. I mean, not this year. Come on. Bitcoin Cash doing 900%. No way. No freaking way on this earth is it doing 500%. Like said, XRP to 1,000. No way. Exactly. I've been one of the biggest people calling out that nonsense for ages. Like anyone, I mean, look at some of the other videos that people put out. XRP is going to hit $10,000. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's wild, bro. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, even some people are like, I mean, come on. XRP $100 to 250. 28,000 views. 28,000 views. Jesus. Even Crypto Wendy's getting on it now. Look, she's like, hey, oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. No price predictions here. Look, he knows what he's talking about. I mean, I would definitely follow this guy. I just click follow. It's got chapters on it. Look, bruh, what? You kidding me right now? I'd definitely give that guy a follow. Yeah, boy. Jeez. Oh, look, he's there again. Look at that thumbnail as well, everybody. Oh, I need you guys to do a vote actually on thumbnails. I need you to do a vote on a thumbnail. Okay, I need you guys to give your opinion. So, no was the answer to thinking Zcash is goodbye right now. Good team. Well done, team. Good choice. Sell BTC to 80k, road to 65. Mohammed, no. You were the sort of person, though, that told everyone to sell at like 85 or something. I'm only kidding, bro. I hope you're wrong, though. On a serious note. Never seen that guy before. Yeah, neither have I. So, here's the question, everybody. Right, I need to be able to do this dead quick. Here we go. Right. And hold on. Sorry, I realize this is taking long, but I need your vote. I need your opinion on something. So, everybody get up now. Sing it now. Right. Here we go then. You're going to vote on a starter poll. Which one is better? Okay. 1, 2. TikTok, you can vote as well, right? So basically, let me give you the backstory of what I'm showing you. So someone reached out to me and they're like, oh, hey, I do thumbnails and SEO optimization on YouTube channels. I've noticed your channel and I think I could really optimize your content to make it like see more people, be viewed by more people, blah, 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 blah. I was like, all right, cool. I get messages every single day, though, from people telling me that they can make my content better. They can support my channel. They can grow my audience. So freaking prove it. You can do thumbnails. It's cool. Send me a thumbnail. Send me some SEO stuff. Send me some stuff and let's see how you get to. So don't vote yet, you dicks. Someone voted. You absolute choppers. Someone voted one. This is thumbnail number 1, okay? This is thumbnail number 2. Vote which you think is better. Thumbnail number 1. Thumbnail number 2. Thumbnail number 1. Thumbnail number 2. Thumbnail number 1. Thumbnail number 2. Right? TikTok, I want you to vote as well. And then I need you guys to give me an opinion. Poll and gifts, vote. So smiley face 1, sad face 2. Okay, that's the only way I can do it. TikTok, both. No. That's not an answer. I should have put that as an answer, basically. Like, oh, they're both rubbish. 2. Okay, we got a vote for 2. 1. Casey's got, man, everyone's going 2 on TikTok. What you got on YouTube? Is everyone going 1? So 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. 1. Yeah, you guys are there. 1, 2 looks like amateur AI. Yeah, his face is too smooth, isn't it? And I'm not quite sure what, like, it looks like his ear looks a bit messed up. It's all a bit weird here, isn't it? And a really weird question mark that's not actually there in the back. Don't need both. Rubbish. It's 50-50. Don't say that, because one's actually my thumbnail artist. And one is the new one. The question is, which is my thumbnail? I mean, technically, if you'd have seen them, then you'd have seen it. But Shawnee, what are you saying, Sean? Come on, I value your opinion. What do you say? You got smiley face. Tom's on smiley face. Man, it's like a 50-50 draw. And it's 52-48. Jesus Christ. Are they both that bad? Fine. Need to bin both of them. Joyce has been here a long time. Hi, Tim Shea. Hi, Holmes. Is Holmes here? I didn't even see him. Fine. Well, you guys are absolutely zero help. Zero help. So cheers for that. Fine. It's all down onto what you can do in terms of an SEO optimization. Or just bin him off and just keep doing what I'm doing. But always worthwhile getting some opinions, even though yours is completely worthless. But thanks. What's the software the likes of Crypto Banter use for their thumbnails? I assume they've just got someone who actually does them. Holmes 777 is here. Ah, right. Yeah, Crypto Holmes. Yeah, I assume it's someone that does it, basically. But yeah, it's definitely... I'm not very good at thumbnails. So, again, I have a thumbnail artist that does them for me. In fairness, it saves me an absolute load of time. Like a load of time, in fairness. So yeah, so I'm like down for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to stress it, but at the same time, you know, I'd like to keep pushing the channel. Which, do you know what? At the minute, everything's kind of ticking over nicely. Take this stream for example. Looks like we're probably going to do another 1,700 views, which is kind of nice. So shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to how bullish you guys are. And like I said, this is a big week for cryptocurrency. Remember, lots of stuff landing this week. Lots of positive stuff to think about. Yeah, and we'll see. Get ChatGPT right the prompt for your thumbnail. That will improve it. It doesn't work, though. Neither thumbnail really got me going. Can we look at Poly Swarm NCT 60-cent target? Is this another one of those? Is this another one from... Is this another one from that guy? What's it called? Poly Swarm NCT. Okay. Spot Crypto DeFi and Coinbase. 60 cents. Okay, so you're looking for a 55x move on this trade right now. Is it Bitcoin BJam? And by the way, I'm not going to say like Curtis. I'm not going to hate on anyone, by the way. You don't have to donate as well, by the way, Bitcoin BJam. You of all people do not need to, and I'll 100% read your comments. But if this is another one from this individual going, oh, bro, this thing's going to fucking 60 cents. Get ready. Its volume is terrible at average 30-day 14 million. So it's got pretty low volume. It's only up on the week by 6%. So it's a bit like, okay, to go to 60 cents right now. I mean, Jesus Christ, this thing would be fucking, what was it? 60 cents. So it's going to do, it would need to do a 5,500% increase. The answer, no, absolutely not. I don't know enough about it. Unless it's got some like crazy thing built on the back end of it, fine. I assume it's something to do with Polygon Matic, by the way, because although that ecosystem and that company have got loads of cool stuff coming, like really cool stuff actually. I like your economic research too a bit far. Too many influence claims scrolling Twitter is research. Yeah, we try our best, Liam. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Do you know the weird thing is? I actually did record a video live on YouTube once. I think I probably do like, man, I mean, the video I'm going to do on Bitcoin, I've been researching it most of the day, in fairness. So try and like I said, just try and put a bit of value out there. That if someone watches it, they're like, oh, right, okay, maybe I need to watch this or look at that. Or yeah, my only feed does quite well. A nice way to end out this year, XRP, 10 euros and 2-bit. Yeah, bro, that'd be ace. I'd be down for that. I would be down for it. 100K, I can get a plaque, and I'll put the plaque here. But it's 100,000 subscribers. It's a lot. I need to double my channel. It took me... It's actually my channel's birthday today. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if anyone's actually sent me a postcard, but my channel is... Well, my channel's actually older than 4 years, but it's 4 years since I went, right, I'm going to do YouTube, and I'm going to do it big and try and do it as hard as I can. 4 years today. 4 years today, we came together as a community. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I can't. But yeah, the likes of, you know, Tim, Nikki Callie, Crypto J. Who else would have been like an OG that is no longer with us? I don't mean dead, by the way. I mean, they just don't turn into their channel. Yeah, some proper old school. We used to have all the Babs. We've only got one of the Babs now. But yeah, 4 years ago, we kind of full sent it on the channel. But yeah, sorry, I got confused there. Bitcoin BJam. So, you know, where would my best price prediction be for this? Like on a serious, take the bottom, top. Where's the best? Well, the 2618, the 1618, generally speaking, are if you were like super hyped bull market, that's where you were going to get this coin. If I was predicting it, I'd say anything between, you know, 19 cents and 30 cents. 60 cents is insane. You need like 200K Bitcoin, like 1% interest rates, like just money like flowing in like insanity. Do you know what I mean? You'd need some sort of crazy bull market. And I just don't think we're going to get that. You know, I think if we get to 130, happy days, you know, 135, 140 maybe. 2-bit World Limit Financial Chainlink is short-term. Congrats. Chainlink on the short-term. Although I still think World Limit Financial's got some big moves coming. And I would not bet against it. Again, if you haven't watched my Bitcoin video from earlier on, then go and watch it. It talks about this kind of Trump family narrative and how loads of people are like, it's all about self-worth. You know, 800 million bucks Trump's made out of it. He doesn't give a flying shit about actually the crypto market. Maybe true. But yeah, I think Chainlink short-term, Will It Be Financial probably, I think will have something for sure. Bitcoin BJam, thanks man, I appreciate it. M Kriegs, there we go. Hey, I'm still here. I just creep. Another OG. What's going on? Welcome. We don't talk anymore. Tim thought I would stick around this time and then go back to the beginning, catch up. What's going on, Andy? What's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Oh, man. Damien says, I think I've been here from the start. Yeah, I think you have, actually. I don't know if there's a way of seeing, like, who your, like, super early subscribers were. I mean, I could just go back to, like, the early, my X account and see kind of who was the early people that were tweeting, that were messaging me. Yeah, 4 years. 4 years. Long time, innit? Aptos going to 0. Goodbye. I like Aptos, in fairness. The only thing I would be mindful of in Aptos, and I would highly recommend you go and research it, is that a couple of their key developers and their key core members moved over to Monad. So you want to be careful of that. I would be very much mindful of Aptos. I think it's a great chain, by the way. Highs of 18 bucks, but yeah, a lot of their key members went to Monad, which, what is Monad at right now? Anyone remember? Did I delete it? Oh, Monad, there it is. Man, Monad's down another 10%, bro. What? Monad is dumping, bro. We'll see where this one ends. It's currently holding the 20-day exponential moving average. May bounce, may not. They need to get their ecosystem online ASA freaking P. Don't they? Man, I was going to try and actually find out. See all subscribers. Date subscribed. Oh, here we go. Oh, bro. Lifetime. Oh, perfect. Oh, here we go. Oh, bro. I've literally got, man, these are proper old 2017. I don't even know who half these people are. Casey Codwell. Anyone that's here on the channel? It only shows people that actually let you kind of see it. I'm just trying to see if any of you guys are in there that I can see you guys. 2017, bro. Lots of people just subscribing up to the max. Optimism, got a micro back. Yeah, I don't mind Optimism. I think it's got way more utility than it is a coin. It's a bit like Arbitrum, isn't it? Arbitrum is just a DAO coin. Sammy Silver. There we go. Sammy Silver subscribed in 2017. Let's go. Man, you guys out there. You can't even search people, but... What about Quant? Is it a... Well, I mean, it's doing very well right now. We were talking about it last week at like 88 cents. And it's up at 105. So it feels like Quant's got a bit of a move right now. You know, Quant is sort of making it happen. So, yeah. Might go a little bit further. Might not. But right now, I mean, you can't argue against it. Quant's doing well. We did talk about it last week. Up 10.3. You know, may benefit from QT, may benefit from the whole markets kind of making it happen. So, yeah. Asta will be fine. Their trading fees are buying loads of circulating supply. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of FUD around Asta. I don't really know why, to be honest. The only thing I would say with Asta, and I sold mine, is it's gone a bit quiet, in fairness. It's gone a bit quiet. You know, lots of people aren't talking. And this, by the way, I think is a little bit the problem with the quote-unquote cabal. The minute, like, someone's not worth it, they just don't talk about it. They're like, nope, that's it. Done. Done. Yeah. I was only 12 back then. Is that actually true? Is that true? Cybersecurity may do well in missed. Oh my god. Asset layer 2.5, maybe a cog in the cabal. Yeah, I mean, maybe. We've been talking about quant for a while, haven't we? So yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. Markets feel like they're rallying a little bit, obviously, into the close. So we'll get a weekly close tonight, obviously, as well. So the weekly close is actually going to be pretty good news. Not quite the 98K that we were hoping for, but if we went to do the same thing, interesting enough here, look at the 100-day exponential moving average, and we move up by, 6%. Where do we get to? If Bitcoin moves another 6%, $97,000. So another 6 or 7% on BTC, we might be back over that key Bitcoin indicator line. FYI, by the way, and I said this last week, and I still stand true with this point. If Bitcoin rallies anywhere near 98,000, maybe even 100, I will take some more profits on my trades. I will absolutely take out some spot plays. I'll probably make another 10, 20% because it needs massive volume and a catalyst to push it to new all-time highs. I think 98 dead cat bounce could be the rejection number that we then we continue to come back down. So be very mindful on this. I'm bullish on it. I'm liking it. I'm feeling it. I'm checking it. I'm booking it. I'm checking it. But be very careful. That's what I would say. Jasmine at 70 cents. I mean, I hope Jasmine comes back. I really hope it does. I do feel like they're out there a bit more than they have been recently. And I do think that the whole premise of Jasmine coin is actually pretty good. It just needs to get its ass going. Now, needs to break back above that 80-cent range. I think if we get back above that, you can see the strong resistance level we've seen, particularly from this, then we might actually be in a good news story. But Ondo 0.82, yeah, man, I think my Ondo buy price is probably not far off that as well. Probably not far. This is the thing, though. Look, I mean, this has been on this chart for ages. Look at this. This is an uptrending channel with the exclusion right now here on the weekly candles of this downward trend. Let's say another 2 weeks into the end of the year, Ondo may be back in this channel. All right, cool. And I still think Ondo sits on the verge of, if the treasury markets or the equity markets or whatever it is decides to go on chain, and Ondo is still doing some big moves, then then this thing will fucking skyrocket. The problem right now is, just for example, take this. So this is the total 2, which again, this has had a charm for ages, and you could say, well, 2, but you pretty much nailed it. And I know I've nailed it. I know that's why people should subscribe and turn up and watch my videos. But anyway, the reality is that, we're still way above this way below the 1.59 trillion, which tells us altcoins right now are just not good. We're 40% decline. What's important to reference here, though, everybody, what is important to reference here is, which is probably more like that, isn't it? Probably more like that, I think. Hold on a minute. Perfect. Look at the pattern that's playing out. Everybody knows this pattern. We've been talking about this pattern for literally forever. You could argue this could even come further back, actually. But let's leave it there. But look at this pattern that's playing out. Whoop, 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 whoop. What normally happens with an ascending wedge, people? Ascending wedges break out to the upside. Let's hope so, anyway. Let's hope so. And yeah, that's the total 2, by the way, as well. So that is the total 2 market. So that is everything minus Bitcoin and stablecoins. So, you know, you could argue that we are going in the right direction and that we absolutely could see this play out very favorably if the markets, you know, continue. And I think that's kind of what we want to see. So, hopefully we get it. Now, there is obviously a risk to it, as with anything. There is a risk that we could absolutely see a breakdown. But generally speaking, this is a bullish pattern. Not the most bullish pattern. You'd want a way bigger pattern. And we can absolutely see breakdowns from, you know, from this kind of, you know, excuse me, from this kind of play out. But, you know, this ascending triangle idea that we have, you know, this is kind of so you got a rising wedge and you got an ascending triangle, which looks more like the one we just looked at. Look at this and then this is on its way up. And then, you know, hopefully, oh my God, what am I doing here? And then hopefully we see that kind of break. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it's way more an ascending triangle than a rising wedge, personally. Just from where we're coming from the bottom here, look. But let's see. Hopefully we're going to get it. Hopefully it's going to be good news. So with QT ending officially, actually, in about, you know, 6 hours time, whatever it is, QE hopefully is going to start. Federal Reserve might start printing again. Bitcoin may rally. It definitely feels like it wants to rally into the week. So would you DCA into Ondo or go into Link? I get paid weekly. I would genuinely, Andy, I would sit on stable coins. I'd stick it away. So I'll just tell you what I'm doing. I've got two portions of stable coins right now. I've got some staked with an exchange that's earning me 16% interest or APY every single day. It's not the biggest amount in the world, but it's just sat there. And I'm going to trade momentum. And I want to see what momentum does. So, you know, the argument is, yeah, maybe I should DCA in. But your risk, I think, here is I DCAing and it comes back down again. And I think, yes, Tim, tonight, literally in about, well, sorry, tomorrow. Sorry, it comes out tomorrow, yeah. It comes out tomorrow. So, yeah, watch out for that. Watch out for that. It's actually doing pretty well. Yeah, just under 180K. So, but yeah, that video will be coming out tomorrow. So watch out for that. But yeah, I think there's no risk in, I think there's low risk in just holding on right now. All right, you might miss a bit of momentum upside, but doesn't feel like it on a lot of coins. They're still sat relatively flat. And equally, they've been, take Ondo, for example. Ondo's as low as it was back in February. So, you know, no real concern. I'm just sat on my stablecoin. I haven't taken out the markets. I'm just sat there and I will, you know, if you know, the Fed announces it's going to start printing money and things start to become a little bit more bullish, it's going to be like, right, okay, well then let's do it. Let's get back in and let's see exactly kind of where we need to get to. So anyway, I'll obviously be keeping you guys dialed in. I will obviously let you guys know what I'm doing. If you want to get involved in the Discord, it is open. I want to take a look at the security. If anyone is really good at Discord, will you let me know? Because I need to get this whole like capture thing set up and I just can't do it. For whatever reason, I can't do it and it's doing my head in. So if anyone is like super good with Discord, can you let me know? Send me a message in Discord, i.e. go into the general chat and be like, 2bit, DM me, or can we talk about, I just need someone to set a capture up in there. So that you have to sign a capture off when you come in the Discord before you get access to everything else. And hopefully we can minimize the number of bot accounts and shit that's in there. So let me know if you're good on Discord. I'll obviously be back tomorrow, as always, 9 p.m. UK time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern, making it happen right now. Look out for some content later on as well. And yeah, as always, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys and have a great day. Catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.